And it's regardless of which direction this goes, this will have an effect on the front end submission of VA disability claims. And they disappeared about 2 years ago, arguably longer than that. And now the PLUS Act, the GUARD Act, and then there's a Senate bill, I forgot what its name is, that's going to be coming up here soon, on front-end submission. So I'm going to explain in short what these are, and then I'd like your thoughts on this, Jason, and then I do want to talk about what happened at the House Veteran Affairs Committee, because it's insane. And Luttrell, who is the chairman of HVAC, called out the CEO of Veterans Guardian straight to his face, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful because whenever Congress was asking the FBI director all these questions, and they're asking all these senators all these other questions, and people just don't answer, like they really scapegoat. Veterans Guardian did the same thing. Okay, the same thing, and Luttrell was like, No. We don't do that here. And it was just very in your face. Like I've never seen someone so hardcore at not answering a question, and that should happen through Congress as a whole. Like that should be the standard. Okay. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was beautiful. It's all the way at the very, very end. Anyways, the PLUS Act, long story short, allows VA claim companies to charge for initial claims. It also does not require accreditation. Okay, so two things there. Does not require accreditation. Now they are open to allowing companies to be accredited, so that way they can charge for initial claims. That would also allow like VA attorneys and claims agents to charge for initial claims. With a cap, I believe it's $12,500, which I think is insane. I think it should be no more than $2,000 personally. And then you have the GUARD Act, which is the complete opposite. Only people who are accredited can assist, prepare, and gather evidence for front-end submission claim. No charge on initial claims, period, point blank. That's it. Boom. Then you have this third Senate bill, which I don't know the full details of, but the synopsis is it's essentially a combination of the PLUS and the GUARD, where we can charge for initial claims, but it's going to be at a cap. I hope that cap is not $12,500. I hope it's very, very low, but that's essentially what that bill is really going to be. I think that one's going to have the most support from everyone because it's kind of a combination of the two. That's my personal opinion. What are your thoughts?
Is which one, the GUARD Act?
Well, just in general, should veterans be charged for initial claims, and not just charged? I'm talking like 5 times, 6 times.
Right. Yeah.
Which often results in like $8,000, $10,000.
Right.
In the House hearing, they talked about $30,000 charge for initial claims. Obviously, that's going from 0 to 100 on like a BDD claim. Imagine charging someone $30,000 on a BDD claim. Anyways.
Right. So I think, but okay, first.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So look, everything's so nuanced, and that's the problem. And you'll get people that say, hey, look, I tried 7 different ways and they all sucked. And finally I went through X company, they charged me whatever, and now I'm at 100%. So thank God. Right. So you do get those people, but I would think that I would be a fan of not charging for initial claim. You have to file your initial claim yourself or through a free resource, right? And then what happens is the VA goes through it. They make their determination. Maybe you had half of your conditions approved and maybe the other half aren't. And now you're a little bit confused on what to do. Maybe then you can go to a paid service, right? I'm not a fan of taking away people's choices, right? I'm not really a fan of that. If you want to go do that, that's cool. That's on you. But you need to be very aware of what's happening. Personally, I think you could do it yourself. I support accredited representatives. I support doing it for free until you get to maybe the point of filing to the BVA or to the Veterans Court. If you get to those points, maybe you might want to get with a claims agent or a accredited VA attorney, right? So I think there's a place for paid services. I think that it got created because of a lack of resources for veterans. Not every veteran is fully capable of figuring out all of the nuancy things with regard to filing a claim. And so they need a resource to lean on. And some areas are more fruitful with options. You got maybe a veteran service organization there with representatives, DAV people. Maybe you have a veteran service office that's works for the county and they got a bunch of people, and you have all of these resources at your fingertips, and there's, you can get an appointment within a week and they'll spend 3 hours with you. That's awesome. Great. Not everywhere has that. Some people are like, I don't have anybody here. It's me sitting around on an island and I don't even know who to call, and I'm lost. I tried to file a claim. I screwed it all up. I got nothing back, or I don't even know how to start it. And so these organizations saw an opportunity to go, you know what, we'll fill that gap. Do I think they overcharge? Sure. Absolutely. I think there's certain types of claims that they shouldn't be allowed to file. I think that there needs to be some pro bono requirements. Let's say you can't charge for presumptives, but you have to assist if you're helping them. You have to file for that. But you can't charge for that in whatever way it happens. I'm more about a flat fee than a percentage of the increase, and I think that it should be capped. I don't think that it should be a get rich type of a situation for these organizations. But I do understand that you're paying for lights, you're paying for employees, you're paying for all the different things you got to pay for. I think that, again, Clay, that these organizations are a result of a lack of funding at the end of the day for free resources for veterans, either at the state level, the Veteran Service Organization level, the county level. These organizations are out there. I will throw this out there to you, Clay, and then I'll kick it back to you. At the National Association of Counties, so all the county organizations, right? Government is government, right? It's just at different scales. So at the county level, there's an association, national association, and the VA secretary spoke at that conference and talked to county leadership about how important counties are in relationship to veterans receiving VA care and working together to do so. I'm going to give two examples here real quick. One, counties typically will have veteran service offices to assist veterans. However, these offices are often underfunded because they don't really understand how all this stuff works. Get a couple people in there, good to go. So they're not proactive. So I'm hoping that these veteran service offices, with the VA secretary speaking at the leadership level, can then start having conversations about budget requests and asking to hire a new person and whatever, and bolster up their offices so they could be proactive. So that's one thing counties have. Another thing that counties do that you might not be aware of is if your county offers, or your state offers through the county, any sort of safety net benefits, right? So basically welfare type stuff. If a person goes in to one of those offices and applies for that, they're asked if they're a veteran. And then that office, if the checkbox is yes, a veteran, that information gets sent to the Veteran Service Office that then checks to see if they have any sort of VA disability compensation or any other benefits coming in. And if they don't, they're making appointments with those people to pull them over and try to have a conversation about getting them connected with whatever benefits they have, whether it's VA pension, which is a low or no income safety net program from the VA, or VA disability compensation. So the counties do play a big role in the awareness aspect, I think. And I'm hoping that we can get some positive traction there to help eliminate the need for these paid services is really where I'm going with all this. Back to you, Clay.